What is up? What is good? You're watching the San Francisco 49ers Report, and we're live right here on Chat Sports on this beautiful and fine Thursday, June 20th of 2024. I'm Chase Sr., producer Jake Chipper on the ones and twos, and the faithful rocking with us from every pocket of America and worldwide. As always, no matter where you are or how you're tuned in, I appreciate you for making today's show a part of your day. So many great content creators out there covering the Niners and talking about this team on a daily basis, and we're friends with a lot of them, but we're always appreciative when you hang out here with us. Coming up here on the show, it's a loaded one on this Thursday, is George Kittle next in line to get a new contract extension after the Christian McCaffrey deal. We're going to bring you the latest rumblings on Brandon Aiyuk, including something interesting that Adam Schefter had to say. The Athletic saying that the Niners lost the offseason. We're going to try to debunk that, but take a look at some of the reasonings behind why the Athletic said that, and then we'll round out the show with the mailbag. Always love chopping it up with the faithful. Use the hashtag 49ers in the comment section if you have a question, you want to pass along analysis, you have a hot take, or you send in a super chat and you're guaranteed to be featured right here on the Niners Report. So all of that is coming up, and we're going to start with George Kittle here in a few minutes. And I do want to pose this question for everybody. Who is the better tight end right now? Travis Kelce has been in the league longer. Because of that, and because he's older, he has more accolades. But last year in 2023, George Kittle was a first-team All-Pro. He was great, whereas Kelce in the regular season struggled a little bit before coming alive in the playoffs. So who is better right now? Type 85 for Kittle or 87 for Travis Kelce. We'll start to give you some shout-outs. And how about Gump getting us going with the $20 super chat? He says, hi, faithful Chase and Chip. And yes, yours truly, Chase Sr., producer Chip, right here with me. Thank you so much, Gump for the $20 donation. Donald Layton saying 85. Debo Prod, George Kittle. Jacob Martin, George Kittle. BK from the Bay, and Murdoch typing those 85s as well. Chip, who do you think is the better tight end right now?
Give me Kittle, baby. Give me Kittle, because what he can do as a blocker. More well-rounded, and that's a big part of the game. So give me George Kittle. I'm typing my 85s, and I'm seeing plenty of 85s in the chat right now. No question, 85 from Donald. Never Stop, Vinyl 85, Jerome Jackson 85. I don't see 187. Not one.
Got to support the homie in George Kittle. And I agree. Right now, he is the better tight end. So continue to type those 85s or type those 87s. It's also the poll question for today's show. Who is the more, or actually the poll question is this, who is the more iconic current Niner? That's George Kittle, Fred Warner. When I put this poll question, which is in the comment section, up earlier, I thought that it was going to be about a 50-50 split because both Kittle and Fred Warner are legends, and it's neck and neck right now. George Kittle with 51% of the votes, Fred Warner with 49% of the votes on 71 votes. We'll revisit that coming up here in just a little while. So we're going to talk George Kittle, as I mentioned. We're going to bring you the latest on Brandon Aiyuk as well. Here's what ESPN's Adam Schefter said. And you know how Aiyuk earlier this week said on TikTok, the Niners don't want me back. Well, I'd be really surprised if the Niners actually said that to him, and Adam Schefter is with me on that. And he's reporting that having spoken to the Niners multiple times this offseason, multiple Niners people throughout the course of the offseason, every single one of them said they wanted Brandon Aiyuk back. They absolutely do want him there. They just don't want him there at the price that he's looking for right now. So which side is going to budge? Will it be Aiyuk and his agent? Will it be the Niners? Only time will tell. What would you do? This is also another one of our poll questions for today. What should the Niners do with Aiyuk? Sign and pay or trade? Once again, let us know down in the comment section. I do want to have some fun on today's show, by the way. We got a $20 super chat, which came in from Gump Wolf. So we're already at $20 in super chats. We haven't even started the actual show yet, so we're off to a good start. And you look at our super chat battle for today. These are Super Chat numbers from this week. Pittsburgh Steelers talk, $550 in Super Chats earlier this week. The rival Seahawks Today channel did $250. Can we overtake any of these numbers here to pull out a victory? I will also pose this. If we beat Steelers Talk and we get to $600 in Super Chats today, I will run tomorrow in the morning 6 miles as the Niners look for ring number 6. That is today's deal on the Super Chat menu. As far as our mailbag goes, that'll be segment number 4, 3 segments before that. Want to hear from the faithful, want to hear from the Niner gang, so use the hashtag 49ers or send in a Super Chat. And we have nearly 100 people watching live. I want some people to make some noise right now. If you're ready to talk some Niners, hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. The more likes that we get, more people who will come hang out here with us. Recent Commenter Club, Rob's Random Records, John Semeniuk, Doug Furr, Steve Brooks, Donald Layton, Matt Shamel, Timothy Lil World Johnson. Continue to show us some love here. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video, and we'll get the show started here in just a couple of moments. And we're going to start off on the George Kittle front. Is George Kittle next in line to receive a contract extension? That's going to be segment number 1. Devin Beasley, keep up the good work. Thank you. John wants to see the Niners sign and pay Brandon Aiyuk. Earlier today, did release our Mean Tweets video. We've got a lot of funny comments and feedback on that segment. So after the live show wraps up, be sure to check that video out. All right, continue to comment, share the video, like it, subscribe to the channel. The 49ers Report live here on June 20th, about to get underway right now. And let's start it off with segment number 1. Is 49ers All-Pro tight end George Kittle next in line to receive a contract extension? We're talking about that on today's San Francisco 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Sr. Should the Niners do it? How could San Francisco save money with the George Kittle contract extension on the salary cap, the pros and the cons of a new deal, all of that coming your way? But I do want to start off with this poll question here on today's show. Who is the better tight end right now, coming off the 2023 season, going into 2024? Travis Kelce is the older player who's been in the league more years, but George Kittle, I think, is better right now. So who's the better tight end? Type 85 for Kittle or 87 for Travis Kelce. And let's take a look at the numbers, right, and the career resumes for both of these players. Kittle's been in the NFL for 7 years. Travis Kelce, 11 years. So that's a 4-year difference between Kittle and Kelce, who this week in Nashville, by the way, were hanging out at tight end U. As far as All-Pro honors, Kittle has 4 total, 2 first-team All-Pro selections, 2 second-team All-Pro selections. Travis Kelce, 7 total, 4 first-team, 3 second-team. Kittle's been to 5 Pro Bowls in 7 years. Kelce has been to 9 Pro Bowls in 11 years. Touchdowns, Kittle has 37, Travis Kelce has 74. Receiving yards, pretty much doubled up like the touchdowns are, as Travis Kelce has 11,328 to Kittle's 6,274. And then Kelce has the edge in overall receptions, 907 to 460. I will say where Kittle has Kelce beat is being a better all-around tight end because of his ability and his talent as a blocker on top of being a pass catcher. Today's 49ers Report, by the way, is sponsored by Chubbies. If you're looking to up your wardrobe game this summer, do it with Chubbies. And in the process, if you use that link down below, chubbyshorts.com/chat, and you use the code CHAT, you get 20% off your purchase. Sky's out, thighs out. Summer is officially here. Our friends at Chubbies are bringing the good vibrations. Chubbies is a lifestyle apparel brand that makes every moment feel like a vacation. They say fashion is an expression of one's character. So why not let the world know you're down for a good time? Chubbies offers a variety of high-quality men's apparel, from super stretchy shorts and swim trunks in 3 short inseam lengths to pants, polos, button-down shirts for when you need to hit up your favorite weekend brunch spot, you're trying to get some drinks, you're hanging out by the lake or the pool. Embrace the spirit of endless summer with Chubbies, the ultimate destination for bold, vibrant, and outrageously comfortable clothing. So you see the link at the bottom of your screen, chubbyshorts.com/chat. Use that link, then use the promo code chat for 20% off of your order with that exclusive code. We're going to put all of that information down below in the show notes and attached to the pinned comment. Chubbies, making today's 49ers Report possible. So you think about the contract extension candidates after Christian McCaffrey landed his contract extension, in which he signed that 2-year deal worth nearly $40 million, which ties him to the Niners through 2027. And notable names come to mind when you think about those extension candidates. And we've talked about these players on the show. Brandon Aiyuk, Trent Williams, Fred Warner, Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, Talanoa Hufanga, Brock Purdy. You can throw Aaron Banks into the mix. You can also bring George Kittle up in the conversation as well. The skinny, let's get to the further details of this. He's 31 years old, right? And he reworked his deal this offseason to clear up cap space for San Francisco. That lowered his cap hit for the 2024 campaign to $12.2 million. A significant portion of his base salary was converted into a signing bonus. But 3 straight years of contract reworks for Kittle leads to cap hits being higher in those later years. So right now, Kittle has 2 more years left on his deal, 2024 and in 2025. And then there is a void charge in 2026. If the Niners moved on from Kittle next offseason, they would have to eat a $20.7 million cap charge. Kittle's remaining deal, according to Spotrac, this is the base salary here, the cap hit, 2024, $12.2 million. 2025, $21.7 million. And then in 2026, with that void charge, $13.3 million. George Kittle right now is the best tight end in the National Football League. Last year, he was a first-team All-Pro. You want to say that Travis Kelce is better than him? He's been in the league 4 more years, as we talked about earlier on the show, so he's naturally put up bigger numbers. He's had more production, but right now, as we talk about this, George Kittle is the better tight end. He was the first-team All-Pro. He put together a really good regular season. Travis Kelce struggled. Then he came alive in the playoffs. And Kittle has that edge to his game where he can block. And Travis Kelce doesn't really do that. And there's something to be said also on top of the production about Kittle's cultural impact on this organization. He's a really positive dude. And when I was around the Niners team in Las Vegas in the lead up to the Super Bowl, you could tell that Kittle has say. And because of that, he has sway. And his positivity really just rubs off on the rest of his teammates. He walks in the room, people are a little bit looser, they're a little bit happier. Oftentimes, he's going to make people laugh. And it's important to have those types of players in a locker room for a sport that is very, very cutthroat, serious, and you have a finite window in which you can compete, you can play. And Kittle, look, he's made sacrifices for this team. He's restructured his deal on numerous occasions. He has played through a lot of injuries throughout his career. And the bottom line here, he is an all-time Niner who's been a highly productive player throughout his entire tenure with San Francisco since being a 5th-round pick out of Iowa. Of course, when you talk about a contract extension, age, injuries, a concern. The risk here is paying for past performance. But there are players who should not wear other uniforms, and it doesn't look right when they're in different colors. George Kittle is one of those. You'd love to see him retire as a San Francisco 49er and always be a San Francisco 49er. But Joe Montana wore another uniform after everything that he did with San Francisco and winning 4 Super Bowls. He was playing for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it has happened, and you can't be surprised because at the end of the day, it is a business. But lastly, I will say this. In order, George Kittle might not be as expensive as the current Kittle right now on the contract that he's playing on. So if you give George Kittle a contract extension soon, and you factor in some of those later years, you might be able to get a little bit of a hometown discount. Now, there's still more to come on today's show on the Kittle front. How much weight did he lose due to the core muscle surgery that he got? We're also going to talk about that. But first, let's take a look at some Chat Sports analytics here. This is a list of the NFL channels in the month of June who have picked up the most subscribers. Now, the 49ers Report is the third largest channel here at Chat Sports, 133,000 subscribers. So sometimes we have months in which we don't pick up as many subscribers as other channels. Like this month, we picked up 304 new subs. That's 9th in the company. Not bad. We're still top 10, right? But I want to climb up these rankings. And the good news is we're not far behind a lot of these other channels here. And the leading channel, Vikings, now has picked up 520 subscribers this month. We've had a huge week, so let's continue to add on that momentum. Hit that sub button right now for daily coverage of the Niners, and let's climb up this list, and let's take down Vikings now by picking up some more subs. Back to the George Kittle conversation here. The framework of the deal, if the Niners were to sign him to a contract extension, could be very similar to Christian McCaffrey's. It's an extension that gives the team flexibility. And the key to being able to do that, utilizing guaranteed money. Christian McCaffrey had no guaranteed money left on his deal. The Niners said, you know what? You were top 5 in MVP voting last year. You led the league in touches. You led the league in rushing yards. You've been our offensive MVP. You were the offensive player of the year. No guaranteed money left on your deal. We'll give you guaranteed money. And what that does is free up cap space for San Francisco. So throughout the duration of the Christian McCaffrey contract over the next 4 years, the Niners are able to save $8+ million every single year, and the guaranteed money helps make that possible. So at George Kittle, you give him some guaranteed money up front, and then those latter years aren't as hefty as they might appear to be when sometimes you look at the average annual value of a contract. And Kittle is a player who's still very, very productive. And what I think is very interesting is you look at the numbers he's been able to put up. The last 2 years, he has been dominant. He has been exceptional. And he really started to come alive when Brock Purdy was inserted into the lineup and took over for Jimmy Garoppolo. Down the stretch during the 2022 season, George Kittle was a touchdown machine because him and Brock Purdy had a great connection. And then all last year, they were a great 1-2 punch where Kittle became that first-team All-Pro, put together his first 1,000-yard season since going back to 2019, and had arguably one of the best years of his career, if not the best. And you want to continue to have that connection for Brock Purdy, who's a young quarterback who you're going to pay if he performs in 2024 like he did in 2023, and keeping Kittle around makes the job easier for your quarterback. So it's important to have that continuity, especially for your young franchise QB and Brock Purdy, and their connection has been stellar. I do want to round out the show with this. Some people have been asking me about the George Kittle injury update. A lot of people don't realize how banged up he was in 2023. He had a torn MCL in his toe. He had a shoulder injury, a fractured rib, and a core muscle tear. So he had to undergo core muscle surgery after the season, after the Super Bowl loss. He suffered that injury around the midway mark of the 2023 campaign, and this is pretty crazy. He said on Bussin' with the Boys that he lost 30 pounds after the surgery and couldn't really work out. Here's what he had to say about that injury. I couldn't lift. I couldn't do any upper body because of my shoulder and my rib, and I couldn't do lower body because of my core surgery. I didn't lift from the Super Bowl until like mid-March. I went a month without doing anything. I wasn't supposed to do anything. So quite the offseason for the fans' favorite in George Kittle. The people's tight end is what they call him. He also added on top of that he's close to 100%, which is obviously good with training camp coming up a little more than a month away on July 23rd. Be sure to give me a follow on X, give me a follow on Instagram at Chase_Senior, approaching 13,000 subscribers and approaching 30,000 followers on IG. Segment number 1, down the hatch. Segment number 2, coming your way here momentarily. Let's take a look at our Super Chat battle. I want to pit ourselves against some other channels here at Chat Sports. Steelers talk, 550 in Supers earlier this week. Seahawks today with 250. Can we compete? And the deal that I want to make with the people, if we can get past Steelers talk and $600 in donations, tomorrow morning I will run 6 miles for $600 in Super Chats as the Niners chase ring number 6. Mailbag coming up at the end of the show too. Another reminder, get those questions in, hashtag 49ers, or send in a Super Chat.
Yes, sir. Get those in. Shout out to Logan Carothers. I hope I'm saying that right. Only one in with a question so far. Be like Logan.
Be like Logan.
Get those questions in. Make sure you use the hashtag or else can't get it on the show, baby. I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear from y'all.
You heard it from producer Chip. Get those questions in. Still plenty of time to get those questions in, but it's never too early.
Never too early. William Roberts, that Kelsey is a joke.
Said that Travis Kelce's a joke.
Yeah. Give me Kittle, baby.
Yeah, he's the people's tight end.
And he's not dating. I almost called her Travis Swift. Oh my God. Taylor Swift.
I just can't stand anything Chiefs. Can't stand anything Chiefs these days. All right, let's get to segment number 2 here. If we get to $100 in total Super Chats, by the way, I will do a beer boot. We are 80 away from reaching that number. Timothy Lil World Johnson is Debo's name being thrown around in trade talks loosely. Yeah, use that hashtag 49ers Lil World Johnson to get that on the show. All right, coming up next, a lot of you are here because you want a new Brandon Aiyuk update. That's what we're getting to with segment number 2. Continue to hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. 125 people watching live, only 49 likes. Let's get to 100 likes as soon as possible. Coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers Report, I'm Chase Sr. We have the latest around Brandon Aiyuk, what Adam Schefter and Albert Breer had to say on the NFL Insider front. And Aiyuk said earlier this week on TikTok, the Niners don't want me back. I'm going to explain why I would be shocked if San Francisco actually told him that. Adam Schefter is right with me, by the way. Let's first take a look at our June sub battle. We continue to dominate the Seattle Seahawks channel here under the Chat Sports umbrella. And let's continue to tack onto that number. In recent memory, in recent years, the Niners have owned the Seahawks on the field inside the NFC West. Let's continue to have those bragging rights inside the walls of the Chat Sports studios. Hit that sub button for informative, insightful, entertaining, thought-provoking Niners coverage every single day from the leading Niners channel here on YouTube and the largest independently run Niners channel on YouTube that covers this team every day. I want to start with this. Let's give you a little bit of a refresher as far as the notable offseason happenings. This is a tale, a story of sorts, of a classic standoff in contract negotiation when a player is looking for a big deal and the team won't budge. You think back to what happened right after the Super Bowl, in the aftermath of the Niners losing to the Kansas City Chiefs back in February. Aiyuk's close friend said Aiyuk will be a Raider. And then his girlfriend on social media indicated in the lead up to locker room cleanout day that maybe Aiyuk's days with the Niners could be over. That started the contract drama and it started the trade rumors right from the jump. You're thinking, well, did Aiyuk tell his friend that he wants to play with the Raiders? Did he tell his girlfriend that, yeah, there's a reality in which I just played my last game as a Niner? Now, after that, during locker room cleanout day, Aiyuk did say, I want to be with the Niners. He was very emotional about the closeness of that team that won the NFC and made it to the Super Bowl when asked what he wanted for his future to win. And obviously the 49ers give him the best situation as far as head coach, quarterback, surrounding supporting cast, and being able to win games. But the latter of that is the money. Do the Niners have the money? Then, at one point this offseason, Aiyuk tweeted directly at Steelers coach Mike Tomlin amid these Steelers trade rumors, which also streamlined more trade speculation around the second-team All-Pro. And then this week, there was the TikTok in which Aiyuk said to Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels, who he played with at Arizona State, "The Niners don't want me back." Now, keep in mind that this is often how contract standoffs go. Think back to what transpired during the 2022 offseason with Deebo Samuel. It's the same playbook here in 2024. Any contract negotiation, whether it's at the NFL level or it's between me and Chat Sports or you and your employer, it's all about the leverage game. And in something that's public, like the National Football League, controlling the narrative is key. That's why Aiyuk's agent is quote tweeting my commentaries about trade rumors. That's why Aiyuk's agent is taking to social media to say these Aiyuk trade rumors are fake news. This is why the Niners are leaking some information as far as their stance on the Aiyuk front. It's all about controlling the narrative. And of course, the big story this week is TikTok Gate, which brings me to the next portion of today's show. Aiyuk saying to Jaden Daniels that the Niners don't want him. I don't think that's the case. I would be floored. I would be shocked if John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan said to Aiyuk, "We don't want you anymore." Because Aiyuk is a player who the 49ers drafted 25th overall back in 2020. They identified him as an impact player who went the JUCO route to Arizona State. There was a little bit of a risk, a little bit of a reach in the eyes of some when the Niners drafted Aiyuk. But then, year one, I know this team was depleted by injuries coming off the Super Bowl, but he led the team in receiving as a rookie and still missed a handful of games. There were some bumps early. He was in the doghouse in year two, but the Niners have invested time and coaching into a player who last year we saw develop into an all-pro. He's an all-around wide receiver in this league. And John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have even said, we love him. We want him back, but it comes down to the price tag. And that's also what ESPN's Adam Schefter had to say. And here's the update from Schefty. Having spoken to the Niners multiple times, multiple Niners people throughout the course of the offseason, every single one of them said they want Brandon Aiyuk back. They absolutely do want him there. They just don't want him there at the price that he's looking for right now. And I agree with Schefter. It's all about the price. Which side will budge? The Niners probably offering somewhere around $25, $26, $27 million. That's great money. $25.5 to $26 million would be more than Devontae Smith. It would be more than Deebo Samuel, and just slightly less than Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jalen Waddle. That's great money, generational money, especially factoring in what the guaranteed cash could be. What if it's $50 to $70 million, right? But then Aiyuk's saying, Justin Jefferson got 35. I'm not at that level, but I might be owed $30 million. So are the Niners willing to go up to 28, and is Aiyuk willing to come down to $28 million? This is how these contract negotiations go. You always start off at the high price if you're the player. Then you come down. The organization, they're going to start low because they want to try to save as much money as possible and be fiscally conservative. Keep in mind, the 49ers have a little flexibility here, and they do have some leverage. If Aiyuk doesn't like any of the deals that the Niners put on the table for him, and he wants to risk playing out the final year of his deal, which is the fifth-year option, he can do that. Or he could take the money that the Niners put on the table. The Niners also have leverage because, Aiyuk, you don't like our deal? You're going to have to play under the fifth-year option or not play at all. And we could still franchise tag you to keep you under team control. So what should the Niners do with Aiyuk? Sign and pay, or should they trade him? That is today's poll question. It's today's pinned comment. So let me know what you're thinking. If you want further thoughts for what Aiyuk might demand and what the price tag might be, this graphic here might help you. This is a list of the top 10 highest paid wide receivers in the NFL. And when I say that $25.5 million is still excellent money, it's top 10 wide receiver money. Now, Justin Jefferson is making $35 million per year. A.J. Brown behind him at 32. Tyreek Hill, 30 even. Amon-Ra St. Brown, 30 even. Jalen Waddle, 28 plus. Devontae Adams at 28. Cooper Kupp, 26.7. And then the range in which I think Aiyuk is worth and what the Niners could have signed him to earlier this offseason is in that $25, $27 million per year range because the market has exploded. And if you want to tell me that Cooper Kupp and Devontae Adams and Amon-Ra St. Brown are better than Aiyuk, you have an argument to be made. But Adams and Kupp signed those deals a while ago, and the wide receiver market is different now. Nico Collins, to me, at 24.25 is a bargain. DK Metcalf at 24. That is a bargain. So Aiyuk is going to fall somewhere in this range, but how much is it going to be? That is the big question. Now, we heard from Adam Schefter just moments ago on Aiyuk. He's reporting that the Niners want him back at their price, or at least not at the price that Aiyuk is demanding right now. Now let's hear from Albert Breer. And if you're looking for a positive Aiyuk update, here you go. Albert Breer, there's a lot of noise out there, most of it uninformed about the San Francisco 49ers position on Brandon Aiyuk and the possibility that things are devolving to the point where the second-team All-Pro could be traded. I would not listen to that. Not yet, at least. That's good stuff from Albert Breer if you want the positive spin, the glass-half-full approach, but let's be real. Does anybody really know? No. Here's more from Albert Breer on Aiyuk. It's short of where Jalen Waddle and Amon-Ra St. Brown are, around $28 million APY, and of course a far cry from Justin Jefferson territory, but it's close enough to the first two guys to think there's a deal to be done. In the case of Aiyuk, with $14.1 million locked in for this year, that would mean $75 million over the first 3 years of a new contract, folding that fifth-year option in. So the fifth-year option can be used at your disposal, at your strength, because that can be included. And Aiyuk playing this year at $14 million could be a bargain if he ends up performing just like he did last year. So plenty of different avenues that can be taken, that could be exhausted here for the Niners to get a deal done. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're talking all things Niners every day right here on this show. And as always, thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. You're all real ones. Oh, Timothy Lil World Johnson, a $50 super chat and a San Francisco. Thank you for the 50 piece there, Timothy Lil World Johnson. He says, I think the Niners will give BA $28 million. That's what I would give him. That's what TJ Hujmanzada said Aiyuk would take. If I'm the Niners and you're offering 26, go up $2 more million. If you have to add in $5 more million in guaranteed money, do it. You don't let special walk out of the door. A look at our Super Chat battle. We are closing in on Seattle Seahawks today. 2 segments down, 2 segments to go. We're up to $70. $250 is where Seahawks today got earlier this week. And then Steelers talk at $550. If we get the $600 in Super Chats, I'm running 6 miles for ring number 6 for $600. That's the deal that I'm making today. Mai said, hi, Chase. Can you say happy birthday to me? Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mai.
One more segment until we get to our mailbag. Use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. That's the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. Joseph Talmadge saying, what's up, Chase? He's a part of the Noti Gang. Joseph is always one of the first commenters on the show. And it's always good to see him in the chat.
Shout out Kevin Edelman getting a question in there with the hashtag 49ers. One more segment, and then we're getting to the mailbag after that. So get those in, baby. Get those in. Fiendlaw, put hashtag 49ers, but you didn't ask a question. You gotta do it in the same comment, Fiendlaw. I see you did ask you had a hot take right before that. Just put the same message there and then put hashtag 49ers in the same comment. It's got to be together. But that's a great hot take we can put up there on the show. Good stuff there.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, about to move on to segment number 3. Was just checking social media here to see if there's anything to pass along or report on. We put out the Mean Tweets video earlier today. It's got almost 2,000 views, so a lot of people enjoyed that, laughing about it. Drewski said, good for you to put that shit out in the open. Chase, you're all good, bro. You do look stoned as fuck sometimes, but no worries. See, that's a part of the Mean Tweets segment. I like it. I like it. $30 away from a beer boot, by the way. That is $30 away from a beer boot. 3 beers, 1 boot. We're up to $70 right now. If we get to 100, we're doing the beer boot. Fiendlaw said, hot take. I love a hot take. Use hashtag 49ers to get that on the show, man. We should have not paid Jawan because, as you said, Ricky Pearsall is best in the slot where Jawan is. We could have paid Brandon and let him go or negotiated lower for Jennings. Yeah, the receiver plan for the Niners has been an interesting one this offseason. Sportsman Mike, what's up, Chase? Glad I could make it for the live. I hope we strike a deal with BA, but if we can't, will it hurt our Super Bowl chances this year, or will Pearsall fill that role? I think it hurts your offense this year, no doubt about it. He's a second-team All-Pro last year. We know how Kyle Shanahan is tough on young wide receivers, right? And now you're expecting Ricky Pearsall to come in for a player who had nearly 1,400 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, was a second-team All-Pro, and a great threat all around the field for Brock Purdy. And I think that Ricky Pearsall is more of a slot guy. '49ers Sports Talk, college vibes, beer boot, let's go. $30 away. All right, coming up next, did the Niners lose the offseason? What do I mean by that? Allow me to explain. Did the San Francisco 49ers lose the offseason? The Athletic listing the Niners as one of the biggest disappointments during the 2024 offseason going into the 2024 regular season. And we're doing this following OTAs and mandatory minicamp as we're looking ahead at training camp because we have a good idea of what this Niners roster will look like. What say you? The Athletic calling the Niners an offseason loser. Did the Niners win the offseason or lose the offseason? Sound off with what you think down below in the comment section. So NFL minicamps officially in the rear view for all 32 teams in the NFL. The Niners had theirs a couple of weeks ago. Some teams have had minicamps since then, but they're all complete. And now we have this break, a month and change prior to the start of training camp. The Niners veterans and rookies both reporting in July, rookies on July 16th, veterans on July 23rd. And the Athletic releasing a list of offseason winners and offseason losers. Pretty much a stock up, stock down for some teams across the NFL. And they factored in the moves made by all of these respective organizations in the NFL draft and in free agency. The Athletic's winners here, the Chicago Bears, the Washington Commanders, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Wait, Chase, why are these teams winners and the Niners aren't? We're going to dive into that here. Why the Athletic thinks that the Bears were offseason winners. And obviously, I'm summarizing all of this, and I'll share my thoughts as well. They drafted Caleb Williams. They got him weapons in Rome Odunze and Keenan Allen. And they already have DJ Moore. They signed DeAndre Swift. They signed Jalen Johnson to a contract extension. The outlook for the Bears, as far as talent, is a lot better and less bleak as compared to what it was at this point last year. I still don't think that Matt Eberflus is the answer as head coach. I think he could be gone after the 2024 season, but they did put together a good offseason to give them hope looking into the future. So in the Athletics' eyes, they're a winner. So are the Commanders, led by former Niners assistant general manager Adam Peters. And why the Athletic thinks that the Commanders won the offseason, pretty much they changed the entire culture, top to bottom. And it started with Josh Harris taking over for Dan Snyder, the fraud, as the owner. And then they make sweeping changes. A new GM, a new head coach in Dan Quinn, a new quarterback with Jaden Daniels, and a newfound culture. And then defensively, they brought in a couple of good players who add veteran presences to that team. Bobby Wagner, a future Hall of Famer, and then a sneaky signing in Frank LaVue, a former linebacker for the Carolina Panthers. The Commanders here resetting the tone of that team. Why the Lions are offseason winners. They're building upon the momentum from the 2023 season in which they won the division for the first time in 30-plus years and then made it to the NFC Championship game in which, they gave up that 17-point lead to the Niners. They gave out extensions to Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Penei Sewell, so they took care of some of their own players. Then they signed Marcus Davenport, an edge, Carlton Davis in free agency, and then they drafted two corners, Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw out of Mizzou. The Eagles also a winner in the eyes of the Athletic. They remade their secondary by drafting Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. They made splashes in free agency, signing Saquon Barkley, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Bryce Huff, and Devin White, and they extended their own players, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jordan Mailata, and Landon Dickerson. Lastly, the Buccaneers listed as winners per the Athletic because, like some of these other teams, took care of some of their own. Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Levante David, Antoine Winfield, they all re-signed. They drafted a stud of an offensive lineman in Graham Barton. And they, like the Lions, building off of last year's success, can they repeat as division winners in the NFC South? As for the losers, according to The Athletic, the Buffalo Bills, the Carolina Panthers, the Dallas Cowboys, Jacksonville Jaguars, and the San Francisco 49ers. For Buffalo, and these are all my opinions here, the wide receiver core took a huge hit. You no longer have Gabe Davis. He signed with Jacksonville. You traded away Stephon Diggs. You drafted Keon Coleman, but you're light at wide receiver, and you're probably not as good defensively after big changes there. Carolina Panthers, you hire a new head coach. Bryce Young needed to add some weight. Still doesn't have a lot of talent on the offensive side. Deontay Johnson's his number one wideout. Dallas Cowboys literally did nothing all offseason. Maybe their most notable move, bringing back Ezekiel Elliott. Jacksonville Jaguars spent a lot of money, but have they improved all that much? And then the Niners coming in here at number 5. Why are the Niners losers per The Athletic? Here's what The Athletic had to say about San Francisco taking an L this offseason. But first, make sure you subscribe to the channel because we're talking all things Niners every single day on this show. And when I put on this headset, when I get in front of the camera, my duty is to give you entertaining, insightful, informative, thought-provoking news, rumors, analysis, live shows, watch parties. We do it all. So hit that sub button and turn on your notifications. Therefore, when we go live, when we push out a video, you will be notified. You'll also be notified when there's a great deal, thanks to our friends at Fanatics, like getting both of these shirts for just $45. You have the scarlet red, you have the black. Chatsports.com/49combo. Link is down below in the comment section and in the description of this video. All right, circle back to that question. Why are the Niners losers per The Athletic? Here's what The Athletic had to say. After a heartbreaking overtime loss to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, the Niners had a relatively quiet offseason. They gave Christian McCaffrey an extension and drafted Florida wide receiver Ricky Pearsall, who might not be ready for prime time until 2025. The offensive line could have used a bolster, but John Lynch made no significant additions. Perhaps the most notable departure was defensive coordinator Steve Wilks, whose philosophies never quite meshed with those of Kyle Shanahan. Can first-year defensive coordinator Nick Sorensen reignite a defense that lost Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw and then added Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos, and Jordan Elliott? It was a relatively quiet offseason for the Niners as far as monster moves, splash moves, and sexy moves because the Niners didn't really need to make any big moves. This team is still very, very loaded, and you can make the argument that the Niners are the most talented team in football, top to bottom. And I actually think what they've done is added a lot of quality depth, which makes them maybe better than they were last year. Got to be able to stay healthy, though. The Niners going into this offseason, for me, clearly had a plan based upon what happened last year when their efficiency defensively against the run fell off a cliff from the best team to one of the worst. And then in the Super Bowl, in which they got gashed at times, and in the playoffs, they wanted to make over the defensive line. Chase Young, see ya. Leonard Floyd, hello. Yetur Gross-Matos, we need that Arden Key player who can play inside, outside. Bye-bye Eric Armstead, hello. Malik. And then Jordan Elliott signed because he's a better interior defensive lineman against the run. Now, this hinges on Nick Bosa returning back to the DPOY form and Javon Hargrave having a big year, but the Niners did tinker with the defensive line and made it over to a certain degree. A lot of new personnel on that front. You needed to get better and deeper at the cornerback spot. You were rail thin as far as depth there last year and really the last couple of years. Luckily, you've had some pretty good injury luck at corner, and I like the work that the Niners did in stacking up the secondary. Isaac Yiadom, Rock Ya-Sin, Renardo Green, Malik Mustafa. You added some quality depth to the cornerback spot. Chase Lucas in the slot. You still have a huge problem with the offensive line, and I have a problem with the offensive line philosophy. Trent Williams and Aaron Banks, they've given up 1 sack while playing with one another. That's great, right? But center, right guard, right tackle, huge question marks. Now, the Niners did draft Dominic Pooney and Jarrett Kingston, 2 of the only tackles in college football last year who did not give up a sack, but they're young players. Can they help you in 2024? Nick Sorensen, admittedly, a huge question mark. What is the scheme going to look like? Is the philosophy going to be different? Is he going to be in over his skis? He's never been a DC. Is he ready to take over a defense that has Super Bowl aspirations? And if this hiring flops after the Steve Wilks hiring flopped because he was one and done, that's egg on the face of Kyle Shanahan. So some questions and risks right there. And Ricky Pearsall, he was a little bit of a reach. I don't think that you draft slot wide receivers in the first round. I think Ricky Pearsall is more of a slot. I think he has a limited body type. Explosive, sure-handed, tough, great hands, really good route runner and footwork. I just think he's better from the inside. And there were better players on the board at 31, in my opinion. So did the Niners lose this offseason? I think there are other teams who had worse offseasons who could be a part of that list of 5. And San Francisco is still one of the top teams in the NFL. And when you look at the odds to win the Super Bowl, according to sportsbooks, it's the Niners or the Chiefs as the odds-on favorites to win the Super Bowl. Be sure to give me a follow on X and Instagram at Chase_Senior. Let me know what you think about the content. Let me know what you think about the show. All of that and more. Hit me up. A look at our Super Chat battle. We have our mailbag to go, and then we're down to hang out with the faithful for a bit. We're $30 away from a beer boot. 3 beers, 1 boot. If we get to $100 in Super Chats, Seahawks today, earlier this week, did $250. And then Steelers Talk did $550. Can we beat any of those teams and get the bragging rights inside the walls of Chat Sports? If we get $600 in Super Chats, I will run 6 miles tomorrow morning as the Niners are on the quest for ring number 6. Get on the show. Last call for our mailbag. Hashtag 49ers or send in a Super Chat.
Last call, baby. We got a few good questions in here. So I think we're looking pretty good.
It's good stuff.
Shout out to y'all.
In case you're just joining us, Mean Tweets video from earlier this week is up on the channel. How about this chip? Shams. 76ers' interest in Paul George significantly waned. Expected to be aggressive elsewhere. Interesting. So the side eye from Joel Embiid, off or not? That could be a little John tomorrow. 49ers sports talk rookie who play outside, inside. I agree. And he did that in college. Now, primarily, he was a slot receiver. A majority of his snaps came from the inside. And he could play outside. But Aiyuk is an every down, outside, boundary X wide receiver and a number one guy because of his footwork, route running, speed, picking up yards after the catch, being dynamic in the open field. I don't know if consistently Pearsall's an outside guy. Last call for our mailbag. Super chats get featured first. Use the hashtag 49ers or send in a super chat. Going to take your questions coming up here in a second. 1 of 10. Let's go. 140 people watching live. We're at 83 likes right now. 17 likes away from 100. Hit that thumbs up icon, like the video. Leon Sandcastle, getting that question in. I love it. Leon Sandcastle, legend. All right, let's get our mailbag underway right now live on the 49ers Report. Hope everybody out there is having a great weekend. It's another mailbag here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. You have questions, I have answers, and we're taking questions, comments, and hot takes, as well as your analysis from our viewers and subscribers right here on the show. I do want your feedback, though, to kick things off. What is one thing we could do at Chat Sports, I could do, to improve the San Francisco 49ers Report? I believe we do a great job. That's why we're sitting pretty at 133,000 subscribers. My goal with every show is to give you entertaining, insightful, informative, thought-provoking coverage on this team on a daily basis. And whether it's analysis, it's talking about speculative rumors, or I'm passing along breaking news, we try to give you the best Niners coverage right here on YouTube. But how can we get better? You can help us do that. Let's start off with this one. $50 super chat coming in from Timothy Lil World Johnson. I think the Niners will give Brandon Aiyuk $28 million. To me, Timothy, that is the number in recent weeks that I've kind of settled on, and that's my prediction. Because that's the middle range of where things seem to be right now between San Francisco and Aiyuk in his camp. Aiyuk might want 30. The Niners are willing to give him 26. As we get closer and closer to training camp getting underway with veterans reporting on July 23rd, that made official this week, does $28 million get it done? That's $4 more million than Deebo Samuel. That is top 5 wide receiver money. Now, the guaranteed money is going to play a factor in that. And if that money is too low or too high, depending on what side you're on, that could impact when this deal gets done. But I think a deal eventually does get done. It's going to be around $28 million. That's been my prediction for a little while now. You don't let Special go. And the Niners would be a worse team without Brandon Aiyuk. Fiendlaw 57. Do you think this is a good hot take? We could have paid Brandon Aiyuk before Juwan Jennings and maybe tried to renegotiate Jennings' contract to lower if he doesn't accept and put Pearsall in his spot. Where I do agree with you, Fiendlaw, is that the Niners should have taken care of Brandon Aiyuk way earlier. And I'm talking weeks, months ago. I know that the Niners as an organization, as a business unit, like to wait to give out contract extensions. But just because you've always done something one way doesn't mean you always have to do it that same way. In business, you have to be aggressive. You have to adapt. You have to evolve. And the Niners as a team, I think, have to start going about these contract extensions with their homegrown players in a different manner. Because when you wait, you run the risk of the market exploding, which then your employee, your player, the price tag for him goes up. And the wide receiver market this offseason has exploded on numerous occasions. Calvin Ridley, Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Nico Collins, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Justin Jefferson. All of them got different deals, but when all of these players are getting paid, and you have Calvin Ridley making $23 million per year, and Nico Collins making 24, Jalen Waddle at 28 plus, Amon-Ra St. Brown right there, then Justin Jefferson at 35, A.J. Brown at 32, Devontae Smith at 25, it increases the price tag. So Aiyuk has the argument that he deserves 30. He's not Justin Jefferson, but is he better than Jalen Waddle? I'd rather have Aiyuk than Jalen Waddle. He's an all-pro. He's a number one. He's a complete wide receiver. So if they got this deal done earlier, I thought they could have had Aiyuk at $25, $26 million. And if you're Brandon Aiyuk, the grass ain't always greener on the other side. It's not all about money, and it should never be about money. Quality of life is really important. Going to work for a great company that you enjoy working for on a daily basis is important. The money might be great, but if you go to a team that's awful, has bad quarterback play, isn't competing for Super Bowls, not winning games, and your production dips because of that, we've seen how competitive Brandon Aiyuk is. He's a dog. He loves to compete. He said after the year during locker room cleanout, he wants to win. That's what he wants. You can win, put up great production, and make great money and be happy with the San Francisco 49ers. You might make more money, but not be as happy and put up production with another team. Another company can offer me more money, but I love who I work for, who I work with. I love what I do on a daily basis. Chat Sports takes care of me. I've helped to build the company. So I might make more money elsewhere, right? But that doesn't mean I'm going to be happy. I'd rather be happy and comfortable financially as compared to rich and miserable. Logan, do you see any rookies contributing this year? A great question. And obviously, we're going to find more out when training camp gets underway because we're going to start to see, is Dominic Pooney getting first-team reps at right guard, or is he getting second-team reps? Is Renardo Green getting first-team slot nickel reps or second-team outside corner reps? Malik Mustafa, if Talanoa Hufanga can't come back, is it going to be Jair Brown and George Odom? Or Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa? Ricky Pearsall, does Aiyuk hold out and he gets reps and runs with the ones? Or is Aiyuk there and he's with the twos? Or is Aiyuk and Debo with the ones and Pearsall is in the slot? I think there are pathways and there are possibilities that rookies play this year. If I were to power rank who has the most impact as a rookie, I think it's Ricky Pearsall, Dominic Pooney, Renardo Green, and Malik Mustafa kind of in that grouping, and then everybody else doesn't really play. Isaac Guerrero may be RB2, but I'm not sure. Kevin Edelman, do you think that Hufanga is on the hot seat? I don't think that Talanoa Hufanga is on the hot seat at all. This is a player who was an All-Pro 2 years ago, and then he tore his ACL last year. All he's done since getting drafted by the Niners late in 2021 is make plays. You know, he started making a lot of plays as a rookie, and he was a part of the special teams play, the miracle at the Cathedral of Football at Lambeau Field, Jordan Willis block punt, Talanoa Hufanga scoop and score in the divisional round against Green Bay as the snow has fallen, and then Robbie Gould, good as gold at the buzzer. And then that following year, he's an All-Pro, and then last year, highly impactful player who got injured. Now, How much is he going to demand on a new deal? And does he fit Nick Sorensen's defensive philosophy? How does he fit in the scheme? If he's not a fit and he's too expensive, this could be his final year with the Niners in year 4, but I don't think he's on the hot seat. Very instinctual player with a great feel for the game. Timothy Lowell Johnson again. Any right tackles available for the Niners? Honestly, brother, not really. Because at this point, free agents at a lot of positions are free agents for a reason. Now, there are some solid free agents out there. Justin Simmons, Quandre Diggs, Emmanuel Ogbah, Yannick Ngakoue. I think there are solid free agents out there. Right tackles, though, so many teams are in search of offensive line help that a lot of the good tackles, they've already been signed. They've already been added to rosters or locked up by other teams so that they don't hit the open market. You're looking at the likes of, and he played left tackle, David Bakhtiari. He's probably the most notable name out there, but the list is very, very thin at the right tackle spot. Chris Hubbard, they did sign a few weeks ago. Leon Sandcastle, the Steelers have also shown interest in Debo. What would you think of Debo for the Herbig brothers? Is that a good trade proposal? I don't think that's good enough. I don't think that that's good enough. I think what you want, ideally, is a second or third round pick for Debo. And the reason why his value is a little bit lower, his numbers have gone down. He's been injured and got shut down in the Super Bowl, and he's expensive. He has a playing style in which teams don't know how long he's going to be at his prime. This is a player that, going back to South Carolina at the NFL level, has had a lot of injuries. I think that he's a dynamic player. He's one of one. He's completely unique. He's one of the more special playmakers that we have in the NFL today. But the Herbig brothers, I'm not sure they get it done, even though you get some help there in the trenches. I think it would be a second and or third is the ideal asking price. Peter, do you believe that the Niners will go back to the Super Bowl? If so, then against what team? In my bold predictions video that I put up last week, go check it out, I did have the Niners making it back to the Super Bowl and playing the Houston Texans. Oh, wow. Bulls are trading Alex Caruso to OKC for Josh Giddey. NBA stuff starting to ramp up. Chase, get back on topic. Do I believe that the Niners will go back to the Super Bowl? Yes, I predicted they went back to the Super Bowl. They go back to the Super Bowl. They play the Houston Texans. DeMeco Ryans takes down Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid so that Kyle Shanahan can get his ring. But in all seriousness, you're still elite offensively. You should rebound and be better defensively. You still have a stacked roster with a lot of depth. You still have a great coach in Kyle Shanahan, who I think is due, who I do think will win a ring at some point. You look at the landscape in the NFC, I think San Francisco, still the best team in the NFC. They're just loaded everywhere. What Noodle 187, we can round out with this one. What homegrown player from the past would you want on this team, but no quarterbacks? Mine would be Bryant Young or Joe Staley. Great question. Jerry Rice is my favorite Niner of all time. Ronnie Lott is really hard not to go with. Those would probably be my top two. Bryant Young, Joe Staley, legends. I think that's what I would go with. I think that's what I would go with. Yeah, Jerry Rice or Ronnie Lott. Because you can't go Joe Montana. You can't go Steve Young. Roger Craig would be cool in today's NFL. So let's ride. How about Justin Smith? He was fantastic too. Him at defensive tackle for this team alongside Nick Bosa My goodness. Be sure to subscribe to us here on the San Francisco 49ers Report. Hit that sub button for videos every single day and so that you too can be a part of our mailbags. All right, $30 away from a beer boot, and I'm going to put on the 2-minute Super Chat shot clock. If you want to extend the show and chop it up, we'll hang out here on this Thirsty Thursday. But you got to get a Super Chat in within the next 2 minutes. We're at 70 right now. If we get to 100 total, I'm doing a beer boot. I saw Nick Dolfer in the building a little bit earlier. Him and Timothy Little World Johnson have been some of our Super Chat OGs. Speaking of Timothy, he said Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. Just an incredible player. An incredible player. Who'd you rather have, Kyle Juszczyk or Roger Craig? That could be a good poll question. I know. I actually don't hate the fit of Giddey on the Bulls. 55 seconds left on the 2-minute Super Chat shot clock. Can we get to 100? We are 30 away. If you want to extend the show, do it with the Super. Ariola Lover said T.O. T.O. a Niners legend for sure. What Noodle said, what about Eric Davis? 20 seconds left on the 2-minute Super Chat shot clock. '49ers Sports Talk. I feel like Hufanga is going to start on PUP. Yeah, it's a possibility that him and Greenlaw could be on PUP. Ernesto, Chase, will you be live for the Niners preseason games in August? Of course, brother. Of course. How about Black Mask? Back in the building. It's been a minute. He did reach out to me on Instagram, though. So we know that Black Mask is okay. Black Mask, T.O. can play today. I think that he could play a game. A whole season, I think the body naturally would break down, but a game, dude's in incredible shape. Jason, first time catching you live. Hi from Korea. Let's get it. Tuned in from Korea. Now, the Super Chat menu and Super Chat shot clock did expire. Should we sign off? Y for yes, N for no. If anybody wants to extend the show, send in a super. 30 away from a beer boot. 30 away from a beer boot. And you look at our Super Chat battle here. Can we compete with Seahawks today? Can we take down Pittsburgh Steelers talk? They've had some shows pop off recently here in June.
Someone want to send in a bomb and just catch up to Seahawks right now?
Oh, boy.
F
John Aiello, where you at?
F the Seahawks. The sea chickens. Don't like losing to them.
John Aiello. One like away from 100, by the way. We did 4 segments, live for a little bit more than an hour here. Now we're just hanging out with the people. Nick Dolfer!
Oh!
There he is! He said cheers. That actually gets us to 99.99. We're a cent away from 100. But we're still going to do the beer boot for Nick Dolfer. All right, I'll pop up producer Chip. I'll go get the beer boot ready. And let's get it on this Thirsty Thursday.
Let's go, baby. Thirsty Thursday done right. Let's get it, Nick. Shout out Nick Dolfer, Timothy Low World Johnson, Gump Wolf. getting us there. Can we catch the Seahawks? We're 150 behind them now. Can we catch them? Can we go on a little run here on a Thirsty Thursday? I'll tell you what, we're at 100 right now. If we can get to 200, I'll also do a beer boot. If we get to 200. Mamba legend, will the Niners split with the Sea Chickens this season? Divisional game's always tough. Seattle's a tough place to play, no doubt. And speaking of the Sea Chickens, quality over quantity says y'all still not catching us. Bang bang from Tyler Jones' channel. Who those of you who don't know, Tyler Jones, host of the Seahawks Report. So we got a Seahawks fan in here. Quality over quantity says that we're not going to catch him. Can we prove him wrong? He's in this stream. Can we prove him wrong? Again, they're at 250. We're at 100. Nick says, now you're playing with fire, Chip. Hey, it's a Thirsty Thursday, man. Just trying to have some fun. Have a good time. Catch those Seahawks. Jason, I'm more worried about the Rams than the Hawks. Absolutely. I'd be way more worried about the Rams. That's a good team there in LA. I wouldn't be too worried about the Seahawks. I'd be worried about the Rams. Lost Aaron Donald, but I thought made some good moves to not replace him. You're not going to replace Aaron Donald, but at least maintain production from that interior spot. And on the pass rush, going with the Florida State duo, Jared Verse, Braden Fisk. Getting young, getting athletic, explosive. So definitely going to be a battle with them. You know that offense is always going to be explosive. With Stafford, Kyron Williams, Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Leon Sandcastle. They got caught before they even flew away. Give me a sweep over them this year. No split. Take them both.
Oh! Black Mask, $50 super chat and a San Francisco. Been a minute. Got tickets to the opener and the October 6th game just because I've been quiet for a while. My man Black Mask, hope all is well, my guy. Chip, you might have to drink something.
I told him if we got to 200, I would also do a beer boot.
All right. So we're at 150.
We're halfway there.
150. This one for Dolfer and Black Mask right here. Dolfer again!
Oh!
A 24. We're at 174. Chip, you might have to get it cracking.
Uh-oh. Oh, here we go. Just taking it down. Chug, 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 chug. Woo! Uh-oh. So you see quality over quantity here in the chat, Chase?
Yeah.
That is a Seahawks fan.
Oh, no.
He was chirping, saying that there was no chance that we were going to catch them. He said Tyler Jones sent him in here, and we were not going to catch him. Look at this. We're getting kind of close.
Timothy Little World Johnson, is that Stella? It's just Miller Lite.
It's Miller time. Not a sponsor.
It's Miller time. Not a sponsor, but should be. Cheers, Nick Dolfer. D. Johnson said yes. And just like that, we are 126 away from 200. And then Chip has to do a beer boot as well.
Little 30-piece, and I'm doing a beer boot.
Miller Lite there, 49er Sports Talk. I've actually grown on Miller Lite and Coors Light. I used to not really like them, but I do like the light beer. Easy to take down.
For sure.
Unfortunately, my favorite beer, Yingling, is a little bit too heavy for me now. Feel soft.
Well, I'll say a Yingling beer boot would be something. That'll be something.
All right, some NFL dates looking ahead to 2025. February 18th to March 4th. The window to tag franchise and transition players. March 12th, get your calendars ready. The official start of the new league year and free agency begins. And then the NFL draft in Green Bay. I feel like the sights of that could be cool at Lambeau. April 24th to the 26th. Nick Dolfer said, I may head to New York to watch the Niners take down Buffalo in their own state. Gonna be cold, bro.
Cool environment, though, for sure.
Cool environment. Take down a table. Leon Sandcastle, Hoegaarden. That's his beer of choice. I like it. Quality over quantity is a Seahawks fan, but did say, no lie, the NFL did y'all dirty with the schedule timing. Rest disadvantage of 21 days. 49ers Sports Talk is going to Niners Titans in Nashville at Nissan Stadium, which entering the last couple of years of Nissan Stadium. That new stadium in Nashville is going to be incredible. I think it's going to have America's largest rooftop bar, is what I saw, which is so Nashville. Dan Warren, wish I could donate to you guys as a first-timer, but unfortunately no funds at the moment. That's all good. You know why? Because you're hanging out here watching the show. 26 away from a chipper beer boot if we get to 200.
I'm thirsty.
Last call. Let's go 2-minute super chat shot clock once again. Like Black Mask said, Dan Warren, you can just like the video. That's it.
That's all, baby.
Lagunitas is a good beer from Nick Dolfer. Don't invite Morgan Wallen. He'll throw chairs off that rooftop. Not a great moment for him. Jason, spent my life savings flying to the Super Bowl. No games for me this year. Man, that stinks. Watching all the way from Korea to Las Vegas, and then they took the L in heartbreaking fashion. Still a great experience, though. You can still say that you were there. It's a game that goes down in the history books. Michael Keller, I'm doing awesome, brother. Nick Dolfer said, shit, if nobody else does it, I might be game.
Oh, man.
Nick Dolfer! Black Mask, lay off the beer, drinking bourbon and whiskey. I've more so gone toward liquor recently, just because the carbs and the calories, a little bit too much for beer sometimes. Plus, I get super dehydrated. Czech beer is the best. James, what is a Czech beer? Give me an example. 30 seconds left on the shot clock.
It's ticking.
Tick, 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 tick. Come to Nashville for your whiskey. I've probably visited Nashville the most times of any city in America that I don't live at. Kentucky is actually better. I will say, 49ers Sports Talk, that, what's that place called? I think it's on, what is it called? Old Smoky Moonshine. That place is really cool in downtown Nashville.
Oh!
Nick Dolfer! That gets us to 197. He's putting in 24 for Willie Mays towards the loss of our great player, one of the best players of all time. Some people make the argument he is the best player of all time. We are 3 away from a chipper beer boot. 3 away from a chipper beer boot. Who's going to get us over?
And we're now just 53 behind Seahawks.
53 away from Seahawks.
Who's going to get us over 200?
How many games did the Niners win this year, Michael Keller? I like 12. 11 or 12. I think the rest disadvantage kind of screws San Francisco a little bit. Plus, 3 straight NFC Championship games. Not easy. A lot of football. Not as much rest. But there is no doubt they have the talent to win it all. Can they stay healthy? Three away from 200. We just got to get there for Chipper's beer boot. I think you should just start getting it ready, man.
I might as well. We're going to get it.
I know we're going to get it.
We're going to get it. Oh!
Timothy Lil World Johnson. And how about this? Now we are $33 away from tying Seahawks today. 33 away from tying Seahawks today. If we get a 50, I will do a shotgun. First time I'm proposing that over the last couple of weeks because I haven't been drinking as much. But if we get a 50, I'll shotgun because we'll celebrate the win over Seahawks today. Boom shakalaka. Timothy Black Mask and Nick Dolfer, the Super Chat MVPs. And how about quality over quantity? Now saying, I shouldn't have commented. Hey, we love to compete. You sparked the competition. Now we're trying to respond. $33 away from tying Seahawks today. Timothy said he's drinking with us. Let's go. It's Thursday, which means it's almost Friday. Chip's going to go get his beer boot. Quality over quantity. Tyler Jones is now your daddy. He's your daddy. Dolfer, 120 push-ups today. 5 miles this morning. Dude, you're putting in work, bro. What did I do today? I did 3 miles today. And I've done 80 push-ups so far. Went to the gym for an hour workout class yesterday. Going back Saturday. Way to motivate one another, Dolfer. That's awesome. What was the average pace on the 5 miles? And what sparked the push-up and running to get underway? 49ers Sports Talk. These types of shows are what drew me to the channel. I've had 4 different Tennessee craft beers this afternoon. Let's go! Now, we don't promote drinking, but we'll have fun drinking. Me and Dolfer, we could take down the beers, but we still put in that work. It ain't nothing but work. Here comes Chip. Time for the beer boot.
Let's go, baby.
Let's get it. Everybody type chip in the chat. Beer boot coming up since we got past $200 in super chats. Type chip in the chat. Daywalker 22, I see you. Johnny Drake as well. All right, Chip, what do you got?
Let's go, baby.
33 away from beating Seahawks today. Francisco. Chip, 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 chip. Even Alicia is here. Jeremiah Grady. Nick Dolfer. Niners Sports Talk. A chip chug. 33 away from tying Seahawks today. Daywalker. Type in chip again. Who else is in there? Johnny Drake, longtime fan, first-time messenger. Everybody type JD to welcome him. JD. Type JD in the chat. He took down the bubble. He's entered the home stretch. The beer is waning. All you see is foam. Jake. Chipper. Beer boot. Complete.
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh! Nick Dofer, a $50 super chat for the crew and taking down the Sea Turkeys, the Sea Chickens. Dunzo, got 'em. We get past 250. Lisa Hernandez is here. We have Lisa and Alicia. The Niner ladies. The faithful ladies. They're here. Where's Jeannie Wyatt? All right, I'm going to go get the shotgun. Or do I have one right here? Let's see. Ah, I got one right here.
Big time.
Got one right here, baby. Alicia said, let's go, Nick. Let's go, Nick. Let's go, Nick. So we take down the Seahawks. Now we are 33 away from 300. We just gave Seahawks fan quality over quantity an L in the comment section.
Hold that L. Hold that L. He said, I'm out of here. We got him out of here, baby.
Nah, 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 nah. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, hey, hey. Goodbye. All right, here we go. For Dolfer.
For Dolfer.
Big Dick Nick.
Whoa. Taking it down. The happy dad like it's nothing, baby.
You got a couple of happy content daddies here on the stream today.
And look at this. Love to see this.
Look at that.
Love to see this.
Look at that.
Suck it, Seahawks.
Suck it, Seahawks. Now, I don't think we're going to catch Pittsburgh Steelers talk, but my goodness, that would be nuts. Our work is cut out for us there. Lisa Hernandez said, Seahawks, suck it hard. Salty, what do you think about a trade like Aiyuk and a third for Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins? Man, that'd be a haul. My problem with that, you trade Aiyuk away because you don't want to pay him, right? And then you have to pay Trey Hendrickson and T. Higgins. So how does that make sense? It doesn't really. Just pay Aiyuk. Nick Dolfer, suck at Seahawks. Bang, bang. Niner gang. Bang Niner gang.
Hey, you took it to him, Nick. You took it to him, baby.
Good stuff today. 4 segments. Crushing it. All right, we're going to sign off. Great day today. Took down Seahawks today in the Super Chat battle. Got up to 267. You love to see it. And, of course, the main duty, giving everybody great content. Go check out the Mean Tweets video that we put out a little bit earlier today. If you want some laughs, you can get some laughs. It features me getting called out by a porn star, an interaction with Brandon Aiyuk's agent, me being called a boner, and a lot of other words. So for Chip, I'm Chase. Niners Report is out. We will see you live for the next time next Tuesday. But still, content to come every single day right here on the show. We out. San Francisco. Peace.